It's a band and concept from Ireland. Has some also roots to black metal, but also very traditional. So the first discussion we had the critical headbanging, and actually we have a few artists joining the discussion in Tuska, the program for the metal industry panel and networking. So finally we got yesterday the confirmations of the persons who will be in the panel. So we have actually quite a nice bunch of 5 people, international people representing labels and live business. Okay, I guess we are ready to roll for our
bertepatan dengan dibukanya pengumuman pemakalah yang ingin mengirimkan papernya di konferensi itu, bersamaan juga dengan kami di sini sedang menuliskan buku Bandung Bawah Tanah.
Ini pengalaman pertama saya sebagai pembicara di konferensi, apalagi internasional gitu. Terus memang banyak merasa tegang di sana ketika masuk, kayak aduh nanti gue ngomong apa kayak gitu.
Awalnya karena ini adalah konferensi akademik ya, kepikirannya sih bakalan tegang gitu ya, bakalan wah formal nih, tapi ternyata tidak sama sekali. Konferensi ini justru terkesan sangat santai, tetapi ya materi-materi yang disampaikan juga luar biasa.
So we have 3 presentation on Indonesia, starting with Sundance Medal, the symbolic movements of cultural identity, which will be delivered by him. So please, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nina Bundaryana, and I am from ATAP class. It's kind of a place to learn and share information about independent music in Indonesia. And then also I'm a part of music department at Indonesian Cultural and Art Studies Institute. So I have spent the past 15 years playing metal music. So I'm a part of this team. Today I'm going to present a paper titled Sundance Metal, the symbolic movement of cultural identity. Literally, Sundance came from Sanskrit term, which means uniform of excellence. We have good weather there, and then make people are active in such place to generate an idea or sharing knowledge. We could contribute to the living environment and consequently influence place making it livable. Silasa, siliasi, dan silasa, which means teaching, loving, and caring each other. According to the statistic center, population of Bandung reach about 6 million people, and 1% of them is mental health. Bandung has many community-based learning centers that accommodate youth to learn various art disciplines such as visual, performing arts, or literature, music school, art community, and most of them are youth. The Bandung metal subculture is relatively same as the metal subculture around the world. They are able to develop the infrastructure like owning their own media, recording and spread the album, sell the album, making a concert, making a gigs. And today the scene is growing up and trying to reproduce their own history and expansively penetrates local and global metal scene. I put a semiology approach as a theoretical framework. Also I adopt an approach that used by Weinstein, the code of heavy metal. The structure of the song is quite similar. Many key changes, chromatic scales, arpeggio, the verse and the chorus. Although this music is similar, in vocal part they mix Western vocal music like guttural scream and growl with the master puppet mastering techniques or Sundance traditional puppet master.
Yang diperlukan dengan teknik dari
If you look closely, they were any like Indonesian term is like kos wayang golek. Sure. Pasna kunjung dulu, pancing di Nagalur, kebarengan ngajak lembur, pancing di Nagalur mau tinggal aja nawak sebut. Try to develop the traditional arts on his region, such as currently like this. It's like traditional music, traditional instrument from Sundanese. It's like mouth harp or juice harp in here.
Yeah, just how.
So the conclusion is, in my view, Sudanese metal musician and this movement play a dominant role toward the existence of essential values to build works on combining the West and East culture that represented on their sonic, visual, and verbal element. And the secondly is, the metal music became another cultural practice for youth. It tries to strengthen their cultural identity as well as to find Indonesia through metal music. Thank you.
Turnuhun.
So,
One of the things that you found was that there's protests going on
yeah,
with the music. You can tell us a little bit more about that.
I concentrate on the
Satu forum yang cukup prestisius menurut saya, tapi mereka sama sekali tidak. Ya baju mereka tanggalkan dulu, baju mereka di luar gitu, entah itu label akademik atau apapun, mereka tanggalkan terlebih dahulu dan mereka berperan sebagai seorang metalhead murni gitu. Mereka tidak melihat orang yang datang di situ dari mana, ras apapun, warna kulit mereka apa gitu. Semua berperan atau semua berlaku sebagai seorang metalhead aja.
Because we have 300 ethnic in Indonesia. It's quite large movement, I think. So I found that some province try to dig their essential value of their tribe.
Indonesia have 300 something ethnic. Keep in mind that every single one of them have their own language.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when the Sudanese create heavy metal by digging their own culture, it might not necessarily understood by the other ethnics. And but I could see that it's kind of raised the awareness of other. The division of Indonesia is not ethnic wise; it's based on the government division, but pretty much is describe what is happening. So people like West Java, they are growing very well. Central Java is also growing quite fast. Well, the rest of the province also following. But this is the interesting thing, what these guys are digging at really their own ethnic culture, but it's also kind of like encouraging other ethnics that exist in Indonesia to do the same. So that's why I think he said that it was quite difficult to define what is Indonesian metal.
Knowing you guys, you have some like backup from the local embassy here.
Yeah.
So it's almost like your research and trip is supported by the government. Just my question is how well the government is supporting these different metal scenes in the country. Are they sort of even treating everybody on the same basis, or is there something like favored by the government that this is something that Indonesia should be known abroad, or anything like that?
No, this movement is totally independent from the community.
Yes.
This is totally, I think our government doesn't have time to. But then they themselves like develop their own community. And for I only know West Java, I don't know much about Central Java, I don't really. but the way they nurture themselves, this is excellent. They have actually almost like a startup that we have to try to have it in Helsinki, for example. It's very community-based, it's local-based, and they really try to go down to their own roots. And it's been successful, quite huge success actually for web Java case.
Very intrigued by the puppet show on stage.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, could you talk a bit about what's the role of a traditional puppet show in the setting, and if the metal bands are transforming that puppet show in terms of its content, or are they just reproducing the same type of puppet show that you would find elsewhere on stage?
Yeah, the second one. They use the same type of traditional, but they include into their performance. Another province in Indonesia with traditional thing through metal, but I think the world can see us from that.
Paper saya tentang pergerakan musik elektronik di Bandung yang mungkin sebenarnya agak, kalau bisa dibilang agak keluar gitu dari acara yang namanya aja udah modern heavy metal conference gitu. Cuman ya balik lagi dari situ ternyata ketika saya ingin memperkenalkan bahwa musik metal dan elektronik di Bandung itu sangat berkaitan dan mereka juga menerima itu gitu. Oh ternyata hal yang seperti ini tuh ada gitu, dan itu juga menjadi antusiasme tersendiri untuk mereka.
Most pioneers in Bandung electronic musical scenes have strong roots. Extreme music. Adam Flam. He was a DJ. He plays industrial music, and it was still an unusual thing that time in Bandung. And he was also the sound engineer of Coil, Iwan Kronik. He's also in this band called I Feel Six. And then Iwan Kronik also built his own DJ school. Indra Jenggot he's the co-founder and ex-bassist of Beside. Beside is one of the greatest metal band. He heard about Prodigy and then he got interested. He decided to just create some remixes. He became the sound engineer of Helm Project. Is one of the pioneers band of electronic music scene in Bandung. He was the founder of Rock and Roll Mafia and many projects after that. So Delay, Trah is also very interesting project because it's combining electronic music and traditional music and experiential music. Bandung people are very close to each other, and then they came from the same roots, like Hin said, Pancak Dina Galur, Sile Asah Asih Asuh. So regardless what kind of music you like, what kind of music you play, we grow together. 2000, and it was the first time electronic musicians and metal band are in the same gig.
Ternyata pas datang ke sana itu memang suasananya sangat intim,
genres of music.
atmosfernya sangat
The
bersahabat.
enthusiasms of metalheads, which are already big back then,
Mereka nggak
it
melihat
kind of helps
latar belakang
to introduce
apa
the
gitu, kayak
electronic music.
di
Like
sana banyak
this is
yang
also
PhD,
part of
dokter,
us, this is also part of the
yang
scene. So
mahasiswa juga
regardless
ada,
the
tapi mereka
different
tidak
kinds of
melihat
genre
itu
music,
semua sebagai
they
derajat.
are excited
Mereka
to welcome
mereka
and to
semua
support
datang
the new
dengan mengosongkan
rising
kepala memang untuk
in this
menerima ilmu baru.
underground scene. Open Labs is some kind of community, is an open space that is the place for the electronic musicians together, talk about things, share about things. They have workshops, exhibitions, and gigs, and then they have an annual events that is New Substance. This is also the starting point for the inventing of new media art, is Funkbox Records. It was formed by the alumni, the former members of Open Labs, of the birthplace of many new electronic musicians. They are Babam and Evan. They are sound engineer, sound designer, producer, and analog synthesizer builders. In 2003, they initiatively contact one of the personnel of Nine Inch Nails, and then they are very interested in this project that the Storm are working. The project is still going on in Bandung. Very value their cultural contents. So Indra Jenggot and Gigi was from metal scene, And then Jimbot, a traditional musician and also an experimental musician. They make a project that combines electronic music and traditional music. And Bottle Smoker too, their third album involves very strong traditional culture in that. This is some kind of the domino effect. When one scene expanding in Bandung, it's not only expanding for itself, but it's also influencing the other scenes and the other people and the other fields. We grow together. In Bandung, it's not only about genre, but it's the spirit of togetherness. And regardless any limitations we have about our conditions and situations in the country, we put our effort into the maximum phase to make this scene to keep surviving and to keep rising. And then the power of regeneration is traditional and cultural values are a very strong contents in our music, not only electronic music and metal music, but almost every kind of genre in Bandung. And a little fun fact, this research, this paper I make is research for a historical book called Bandung Bawah Tanah. The open research method is a very totally new method, like them, and we put them on online so everyone can see. And turns out that Bandung people are very give us very good response. Like everyone can give their opinions, everyone can help us gather the information. So the informations, we don't keep the informations for ourselves, but together we collect the data. We try to make this Bandung Bawah Tanah book to happen since we... Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks Astria. It's really fascinating. I think very interesting to hear the whole sense of togetherness. I guess there are questions, comments. To start, I have a question that if it goes across different genres and different kinds of people, is it also a generational thing? So age question, is it all sort of from people from the babies up to the elderly people? Are they part of the same thing, or is it more like part of this whole scene? Or
age group. Yeah, actually age group doesn't really apply in our country because like I said about the regeneration, it's also about maintenance. So the first generation of the scene also connects with the last one.
Is there something in the water that people are drinking, or what is really the secret, or do people have certain kind of attitude, like there is really freedom to do various kinds of things, and what do you think is the reason, other than the cultural values and sense of togetherness and something that everybody shares?
The limitations, I would say, the limitations. I would also say that we won't be this together if there's no many limitations in our place. So
do you see a lot of bands that start to mix different styles and experiment? I mean, is there a lot of sort of new diversity that is emerging that breaks with these sort of traditional genres? That this is no longer just heavy metal or electronic music, but it's a hybrid of different things?
Because Indonesia is a very big country. We have 17,000 of islands, and then we have 300 ethnics. It's kind of hard to define one thing, that this is Indonesian metal, this is Indonesian electronic music, this is Bandung's electronic music. It's kind of hard because we got influenced by so many cultures that we ourselves have. So I think it's about the hybrid genres itself. Yeah, we call it now as contemporary or experimental, but we've been thinking about it, we've been working about it, but yeah, I think it's a lot of process to...
It is still separated from the major Indonesian scene of electronic music, or...
When people heard about electronic music, it's identical with clubs and party, and basically EDMs, but actually we all know that electronic music is not about that, but that is what most of Indonesian people think. So major for EDM, like common EDMs in Indonesia, there are many. There are.
Not, then we will thank you once again. Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you very much. Very good to hear.
Okay, hi everyone. Good afternoon. Okay, my name is Nurdianti, but everyone call me Dini, so it should be Dini Nurdianti. I'm from ATAP class in Indonesia, Bandung, Indonesia. Let me present to you about Bandung clothing industries, roots, prides, and movement. We kind of write this history book, buku Bandung Bawah Tanah, the history of independent movements, music, actually in underground music. And every time I interview my source, and I ask them why do they want to run this industry, this clothing company or this band merchandising, they always answer this. They said, we were born in the scene, we grew here, and the scene built us, become what we are now, so we have to give back, and this is our breeding. They all pretty much answer this. This music has become their part of life, even since they're teenagers. It gives them pride, it gives them life and way of life that has become their reason to life and struggle. And yeah, that's why they feel the need to fight music by building infrastructure. The roots of independent music is actually from extreme music and extreme sport. They build themselves by creating their own culture and infrastructure. Three infrastructure that they build is this: gig, media, and crew. The crew is only consists of stage crew and studio recording crew. But as the music develops, the crew is also developing to journalists, and then journalists is including writer, photographer, videographer, and then management. And this is the interesting one. It's merchandiser. They finally made their own business to pay for their DIY music movement. This is the first distro. They came from different scenes. There are from punk, hardcore, pop, surf, BMX, skateboard, rock, grunge. The root is also from punk and hardcore. They also make gigs, which is punk rock party. It is held in 1998. So the first distro, is closing its business, but one of the owner made another clothing, which is airplane clothing, and also create a record label, which is called Fast Forward in 1999. Okay, this is Rebellion Shop. This is also kind of the third distro in Bandung. And this is from Ujung Berung. This is harder distro, another distro, and records label. So if you really notice that many distro creates another movement. So basically, all the distro they made really create space for the musician to gather there. And this is I can screenshot them from the June magazine in 2004. You can read it here. When indulgence and joy become industry. This is when they already love what they do, and then they make it to business. They just enjoy it. All these developments in the future succeeded in building pride among the activists and lovers of indie music. There are at least 5 things related to the pride. Let's say about pride. Memang sih diadakannya di School of Business Aalto, tetapi pembahasannya tetap di scene musik, terutama metal. Jadi luar biasa ya, maksudnya sekolah bisnis yang membuat konferensi mengenai musik metal. Itu luar biasa sekali menurut saya gitu. Jadi benar-benar terlihat gimana satu akademi mendukung untuk pergerakan suatu scene musik. Itu luar biasa, dan ini adalah konferensi tahunan. Mudah-mudahan kita bisa ketemu lagi tahun depan.
It is also the pride of the fans, since wearing their beloved band merchandising become the identity of them. And merchandising is also a collectible item. And then this is merchandising for the metalhead community. Speaking about community, merchandising is really financing the community infrastructure. Why? Let's see, merchandising, when band have merchandising, they really need to think about the brand. And then after brand, this brand usually produce gigs, and then festival, and then tour, and then record label, and also produce design. And yeah, of course it is evokes brand that drives community development to gigs, festival, and other. Let's see. One of them is they make record label. So aside of distro, they also make record label. The Throne is also a clothing that make many gigs. 3 of them are Doomsday, which I gave you the t-shirt before, and then Madness and Grindfest. And this is a brief about the Throne, but what I want to show you is, can you imagine, in Doomsday 1, there are 4,000 audience. And then in Doomsday 2, 18 audience, 88,000 audience. And then in Doomsday 3, a little bit down to 6,000 audience. And for 10 audience, 5, even 11,000 audience. And Doomsday 6, it gets to 12,000 audience. Okay, this is Madness. And Helpin is also a heavy metal festival. It is held annually in Bandung. Okay, this is the flyers. You can see this. And this is also, they also make tour. And this is one of the other distro who make groupies. This is groupies merchandise. They make groupies that fast. Okay, this is another gig. Besides organizing gigs, festival and tours, many clothing creates also media design and magazine. Aside of design, they also make books. So one clothing is they release one book titled Pure Saturday. Pure Saturday is one of the pop band in Bandung. I want to show you this because this is the highest achievement from a distro called Maternal Disaster. They collaborate with one of the biggest band in Bandung. Maybe some of you know them. It's Burger Kill. Okay, and yeah, Maternal Disaster collaborate with Burger Kill to make this video clip. Okay, so it's interrupt. I know it's a good video. You can watch it later on YouTube. Okay, I want to tell you this. This is the economic growth of Bandung from the clothing company. And yeah, you can imagine how much money we have. And then this is some kind of a data, but I forgot to translate it. The kecamatan is district. I forgot to, sorry. Okay, but you can see here that fashion industry is really the most popular thing in Bandung. Okay, now a little bit conclusion, everybody. Sorry. Okay, extreme music and extreme sport is the strong roots for clothing industry in Bandung since 1997 and 1990 to present day. And then the DIY is the main spirit in this development process. And then band merchandising and clothing industry has an important value in financing various development of youth culture, especially music. And then merch band clothing also forms pride for the music audience and encourage them to perform various movements with the spirit of collaboration, openness, alignment, and collectiveness. And then not only impact on independent culture, clothing industry ultimately contribute a huge income economy, of course, for people in Bandung and build new identity for Bandung, not only the city of music that has been known since the city was built in the 18,000, but also strengthen its image as a city of fashion design, like what Astria said. Okay, I think that's a wrap. I don't know what to say anymore. Okay, thank you.
Actually, one thing that you also mentioned in the abstract is this UNESCO City of Design 3 years ago. Does it relate to this DIY movement at all, or what is the linkage?
Great art workers who stand beside him. So yeah, it is related because the art worker also do the artwork for the merchandise and clothing.
Licensed or unlicensed merchandise, and how unlicensed merchandise impacts the bands that are actually making the music that the scenes actually love, particularly with local and international bands. Have you seen that tension in the scene, or is it mostly unlicensed? Is it somewhat licensed? How have you seen that throughout the process?
Yeah, there's also tension in license because we really want to make everything right, but let's say it is kind of hard because people in Indonesia are not all prosperous. So yeah, it's kind of trouble to make to really have license. But this shows I show you about groupies merchandise. They also import licensed products, but it's sold out. So the tension is there, but still the many distributors still sell an original product from the international.
Yeah, actually in Indonesia, the band produces their merchandise by themselves at first. So when they produce merchandise and people purchase the merchandise, the money goes to the band. But as the band grows, as they get bigger, and then as they get more money to make, so they kind of they collaborate with another person or another people that who will be focused in managing this their merchandise. So it's actually we don't call it license, but it's some kind of our inner circle ethic that we understand that this merchandise this merchandiser sell the official of this band, like Burger Kill, right? Yeah. Burger Kill, they have their own store called Chronic. Sorry, Burger Kill has their own store. Now that Burger Kill is this big, they have their own store called Chronic, and this Chronic store has the license of Burger Kill merchandise, and only in Chronic that is official. So it's actually not not hijacking, but more of like collaboration.
Saya mengamati juga untuk merchandising ya,
also,
terutama di MHMC ini ya, karena mereka dengan niat banget gitu bikin t-shirt sebagai merchandising si Modern Heavy Metal Conference ini, dan itu keren banget gitu t-shirtnya, mereka benar-benar niat bikin dan limited edition juga gitu. Jadi kaitannya ya betapa concernnya mereka tentang merchandising ini, dan industrinya juga sudah terbentuk gitu loh. Jadi hampir sama ya dengan di kita, bahwa merchandising di kita juga ini akhirnya membentuk perekonomian seperti itu.
Yeah, music is not only about music, but people in clothing industry also can support.
I guess the reason why I asked is because throughout the morning.
Well, thanks again, and thanks for the whole funding delegation too, for very interesting session. I'm actually sort of bringing the Bandung spirit here in the room, and I think it's very interesting as a whole constellation.
Thank you for having us.
We want to be in a worldwide distribution. So, copy, and then we will continue. Thanks.
Sting. Masih live nih. Yang nonton cuma satu. Siapa ya, kita lihat? Oh, Pak Kimung. Yes.
The system engaged in that process of colonization, right? So they're saying, sometimes they say, maybe we're saying the same things, but we are saying it from the experience there in the global south. And I think that's what makes a difference. That's why I don't, you notice that I never mention the word post-colonialism.
I have already followed you in ResearchGate.
Oh, cool. Yeah. We should stay in touch through there. And emails. Who knows what we can come up with? Some Indonesian theory.
Actually, that's one of our problems, especially for metal or any underground music. We don't.
I get this analysis from my research. So this band merchandising is running low because the band itself didn't present themselves. So they use endorsement. They use clothes. They don't use their brand. They don't use their band merchandising. So they don't present themselves.
Who are we saying hi to?
This guy over here.
His name is Kimo.
Hi guys.
He was giving a presentation also in this country.
Right.
2015.
We were here together. We didn't speak, but we were here together actually. Small world.
He's supposed to be here, but he couldn't make it because he's too busy.
We're gonna have a good panel now in Indonesia, so it's gonna be cool.
Doing his book release in September, so it's preparing for that. And also have something to be
Thanks very much.
I hope you will like it. I really hope you will like it. And there's also a CD from Berkeley Guild. Give us DVD from there.
That's good, That's more or less one of the only bands I know from the country. Because we had some visitors before.
Oh, okay, I'm sure you're gonna like it.
Here, or for me, especially in Indonesian metal, what kind of agreement if you start deals with a new band now? Because for some case, as you mentioned before, the independent label from Indonesia start in the past few years. They start to pay the band's recording, duplicating, mixing, mastering, and even the tour. So, what kind of deals that you do if you start deals with a new band?
Well, in our case for Central Media, there is not too much of a difference between a deal for a newcomer band and an established band. The structure of the deal is almost the same. Obviously, a bigger, well-established band is getting a much higher advance, probably also a higher royalty rate. But even in the royalty rates, it's not that doesn't make that much of a difference nowadays anymore.
Now on the new bands, maybe you give like a little bit lower royalty rate, but you put like an increase in escalation. If you like sold then 20,000, then it goes up, and 50, it goes up another point, and so on. Then at the end they have the same as like an established band.
And of course, for the established band, if I would have the chance to sign Iron Maiden, probably I won't. Then I could live with the fact that it's a very short deal, that it's just a 2-album deal. For a younger band, it is important that it's a minimum of a 3-album deal. In best case, a 4-album deal. I'm not going back to the 90s. When I started working at Central Media, I saw some contracts from the 90s that was embarrassingly bad. I was like, whoa, did that really? 7 album deals with a royalty rate net, if you counted all deductions together, of like 6%? So things changed definitely. And so in our case, and I guess that's also the case with Nuclear Blast, the structure of the deal is almost the same.
It's just a little bit talking here and there, but it's more or less really the same as an established band. But as I said, these escalations, that's also secure us a little bit because we also invest money. And it doesn't work out at the end, there is a chance to
very important thing that Toni has been leading for some time now, because it's specific to the topic of metal music. Usually what happens is that you have to sneak yourself into some other field of knowledge event, right? For example, I come from the field of literature, right? And it's not the kind of research that we do in metal music is not always welcomed, because they say, oh look, this kind of work is not consistent with the proposal of the event, so this is not what we're talking about here. So you have to compromise and say, okay, so now I was going to discuss the music in itself, but now I have, for example, if it's a literature event, well, now I have to put some literary author together with the topic in order for the work to be accepted or something like that, right? Which is okay. I mean, to have this dialogue between different fields of knowledge is okay. But I think it's fantastic to have an academic event that is exclusive of metal music studies, so that you can simply come here and talk about metal music and nothing else, you know. I mean, I think as I say, it's a very special event, and I'll do everything I can to be here every year. Yeah. And also, how fantastic it is to, I mean, you're from Indonesia, I'm from Brazil, we are in Finland right now, you know, and we have people from Japan and people from all over the place, from North America, from, you know. So it's very important to perceive how heavy metal has reached all parts of the world, and how local identities have also influenced the way metal is constructed. You know, so although there is a common ground for the metal bands, for example, the distorted guitars, just to give an example, but then you have some local elements to it, right? And it's also very interesting to think of the sociological aspects of metal. Who is consuming heavy metal in different places? Is there an age group? Is it related to ethnics? Is it related to economic level or something like that, right? because this also varies from place to place. So I think it's a very privileged position for us to be here and to exchange ideas with academics from all over the world. Yeah. Well, I thought it was very interesting to find that metal is a growing scene in Indonesia, right? And there are these local elements to the music, how they're played and consumed there. And one particular thing that I found interesting is that there is this communication of different genres, right? Because just to give you a comparison with the situation in Brazil, usually metal is very much separated from other genres. Even to the point of some prejudice. I mean, the people who like heavy metal usually don't like other genres. They're very radical about this. You know? Not everybody, but there's a huge bulk of people who like heavy metal in Brazil. I'm a metalhead and nothing else, right? And I was very intrigued when you said that over there you don't have this problem of different genres, that they all come together and electronic music and this and that, right? In Brazil it would be very exclusive, you know, either you like electronic music or you like heavy metal, but how can you mingle the two things together? You know, they're very much like this, you know. Usually, I mean, there are some bands that might do it, but normally, at least in Brazil, as far to the best of my knowledge, as far as I know, they tend to be very, you know, separated. You know, you're a metalhead and you just like heavy metal and that's it, you know. And I found it very interesting. Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't know much about Indonesian music, you know, so you gave me this opportunity here. But of course, we're open to collaborations, why not? Yes. So this is all a matter of getting in touch and seeing what happens. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I have very little knowledge about Indonesian heavy metal culture. All the information that I know is from you and Nikimun, and a little bit from YouTube or something like that. So, but still, it's amazing actually because do you know this vomit?
This vomit, yeah.
Oh, this vomit, yeah.
Of course, Japanese people tend to like European thing or American thing. Most people don't care about Asian. But now it's changing recently, and some people are very keen eyes to the East Asia or Southern East Europe. Asia. Apart from heavy metal, but I'm working at the research center for traditional Japanese music. So the way the Indonesian musicians collaborate with the traditional Indonesian music is very interesting. I think it's rarely happened in Japan, especially in heavy metal scenes. And it's not heavy metal, but I like Indonesian music unit. Do you know this? The band? I don't know. The two people called Senyawa. They're amazing actually. And it's heavy metallic in a way, but but they don't use any electric things. But it's Kyoto City University of Arts. And they have a research center for traditional music in Japan. So I'm a staff there.
Japanese writer write that. Oh.
And probably the title is Death Metal Indonesia. And
who's the
writer is I forgot the first name, but the surname is Hamasaki. He's a And
Mau ngasihin CD
buat
Pak Bos tuh.
Buat Pak Bos. Siapa namanya?
Pokoknya dari Nuclear Blast aja.
Mantap ya, sambil ngobrol-ngobrol. Tapi tadi penasaran sih saya.
Gimana?
Hubungannya sebenarnya ini kan label. Cuman
ngomongin Blast tapi udah terkait pasti.
Iya, dengan brand. Maksudnya kalau di luar kayak gitu, kayak kita juga nggak. Kalau sekarang kan kita
Iya, makanya pengen nanyain itu. Kalau kita kan karena kita hubungan dengan major label jelek gitu kan, kita man
kayak
jadi
gitu pendanaannya dari mana gitu.
Terus kita kan dari sponsor, jadi kan dapatnya
tanyain lu sekalian biasanya aku ngasih.
Iya, sponsor. Terus kriteria apa gitu yang biasanya mereka lihat? Kriteria apa aja yang biasanya mereka lihat selain potensi finansialnya?
Never give up and always fight for metal and not sure what else to say. Sorry.
Okay. Actually, I
So is it Indonesia or the Philippines that had the president that was wearing a napalm death shirt?
Indonesia.
It's our president.
Yeah, that's really very, very cool. I don't know your president personally, but I know that Barney from Napalm Death actually contacted him once, and that's a really metal country. If your president is wearing a Napalm Death shirt, thumbs up. Well, some of the bigger bands do have sponsors, and energy drinks like Monster are sometimes putting money in marketing for tours. That's becoming more and more common.
Oh, I see. So.
I mean, it's a very, very fine line depending on what kind of metal you are doing. A band like Napalm Death, it wouldn't work if they would get sponsoring money from a corporate company. It would just completely destroy their credibility, because that's not what an extreme grindcore band stands for. And I know that in Indonesia there is also a strong grindcore crust scene and mixing with the punk scene. That was always the case, I think, in Far East Asia. So for those bands, it's difficult to take money from bigger corporate companies. Because as I said, it's not really what you stand for. Whenever something is getting a little bit more accessible, or don't want to say commercial in terms of music, yes, that's a good way to go for a smaller band. Take whatever you can get as financial help. Because as we all know, it's really expensive to keep a band running. Buying a backline and getting a bus even to tour in Indonesia is expensive. For younger bands to make a collaboration with an energy drink or with a company like Converse shoes or Vans, getting into the extreme sports scene. It's a give and take, because those companies want to reach out to a younger audience. Of course, music is always a good transport vehicle for those brands.
Oh, very big written. No, but it's like a contact is there, right? Okay. Good.
Yes, I have your suitcase.
You just Hey, you Indonesian metalheads. Last time I was there, it's already like 5 years or 6 years ago. But I always love the country, the food, the culture, and I often go there diving because some friends of mine from Children of Bodom, they are living actually there. Heavy metal.
This is absolutely amazing. When I studied theater science at Helsinki University, I came here and decided to change my subject to musicology, because I'm a professional musician. I have studied classical piano and pop and jazz singing in schools, but when I came here it was kind of a big change for me in my personal life, because I decided to change the main subject, and now I just graduated from musicology, Master of Musicology school. I'm not sure. I'm now just feeling relieved that it's done, and now I want to, develop my musical career at least a couple of years, at least.
Okay. So, what exactly metal scene in Finland?
Well, there's a lot of bands, a lot, and I think metal scene here is quite friendly. people are friends with each other. Yeah, people are like, oh, metalhead, but I think it's the same all over the world, you know. But same in Finland, and there's just super a lot of bands, and most of them, like I guess at least 70% of them are not taking it seriously. They are just doing it as a hobby, and we play once a month or something. But it's cool to have a metal band anyway.
So, can you tell us most of the band is what the genre?
My band?
No, most of
the bands. Yeah, we call it Suomi metalli.
Suomi metalli? Oh
yeah. Like it's a.
It's pretty fancy.
I think it's like a.
So they use Suomi language.
Yeah, they use Suomi language, and it's like, no, I feel it's a bit depressing and boring, but I don't know, maybe other people like it, but maybe it's like basic. That's a difficult question. I think it's rock, kind of from rock. Like a chord structure is kind of basic pentatonic or something like that, but
more classical stuff, or maybe you are classical musician.
Yeah, but no, actually I don't think that's the main. But of course there are so many different bands, I can say, but I think like melodic melodic metal, melodic rock in a metal way.
Is there any melodic death metal here? Melodic death metal like Sweden?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And I think that here is a lot of different genres. Like a main genre is that Suomi metal. But like, what is that? Like Sentence and stuff. Like a bit depressed kind of feeling. Because of the winter and stuff like that, and maybe folk influences in it.
So in your case, in your band, most of the theme song, most of the song theme is tell us what they tell us.
Most of the in my band.
In your lyrics.
Yeah, in our lyrics. Yeah, we talk about philosophical things.
Finnish or?
No, in English. Yeah, we talk about through, I don't know the word, through metaphors.
Yeah.
Like when you struggle in your life and how you can defeat them and things like that. It's kind of philosophic approach, I think.
Any other protest song or?
No, we are kind of. We are not angry.
I see that.
We just love everybody, but we still do, angry music. But lyrics are different. They are kind of. They make you think.
Have you heard Indonesian metal?
Indonesian, yeah, Burger Kill.
Burger Kill, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the only one because of the Kimun.
Yeah.
I found it out.
So what do you think about Indonesian metal?
No, I have just heard that there's a huge scene.
Yeah.
Because I saw some Burger Kill playing in a big, huge festival. So I think it was very surprising for me.
I have some management stuff as well as part of my publication because this metal is not the whole thing. I do something else as well.
I would expect from the music the music department or sociology or something.
No, we don't have, and in Aalto University we don't have basically anyone else researching in the music industry. And it's weird, but that's also the situation in Finland. It's very much under percentage in universities. And I'm also speaking here in our school to think about the relevance of the entertainment industry, the music industry, the cultural industry. And regarding that, there's so little research.
Kok punya kartu pegawai? Ya tuh sebagai tuh.
Kartunya siapa itu?
Dipinjemin sama cewek tahu.
Punya siapa itu kartunya?
Ini benar belakang ini.
Punya siapa itu punya?
Ya Toni, untung Toninya baik, jadi bisa sebat.
Akhirnya si Toni ya baru dak bisa. Terima kasih Teteh.
Makasih Di. Ya, kita masih live streaming.
Bisa gini ya?
Lagi apa?
Lagi nonton band kesayangan. Berkompetisi untuk pakan metal Indonesia. Dan kali pertama aku lihat band aku main
Live streaming.
dan live streaming. Harusnya aku di situ, tapi aku main sih sempat segan juga karena nggak dapat ini additional dan dapat additional 4 hari atau 5 hari sebelumnya.
Wow.
Mepet pisan.
Tapi bagaimana dari teman-teman di Humiliation ketika mengetahui?
Alhamdulillah sih mereka sangat support karena mereka sadar bahwa kita juga sebenarnya di sini bawa jadi bawa nama Indonesia. Ya sempet galau sih beberapa hari, cuman akhirnya nggak tahu dapat bisikan dari mana.
Dari mana-mana kayaknya ya.
Ada dibisikin.
Akhirnya aku yakin berangkat ke Modern Heavy Metal Conference. Saya kira ini satu jalur yang sama sih. Maksudnya kita berjuang di jalur yang sedikit berbeda tapi dengan satu tujuan yang sama, bawa nama Indonesia.
Jalannya beda tapi tujuannya sama ya. Berbeda-beda bersama-sama. Dici.
Jagoan. Semoga berita terbaik menghampiri kalian dan selamat juga buat teman-teman lainnya. Semoga lancar, semoga sukses. Greetings from Helsinki.
Pas.
Selamat buat Humiliation yang sudah selamat buat Humiliation. Such a great show. Sayang sekali saya nggak bisa di sana, tapi semoga berita terbaik menghampiri kalian dan selamat juga buat teman-teman lainnya. Semoga lancar, semoga sukses. Greetings from Helsinki. Selamat buat Humiliation, pertunjukan kalian keren. Kami dari tim Naratas Akar menyaksikan tadi live streaming di Jarum Coklat Musik. Selamat buat Humiliation, it was such a great show. Kami sangat menikmati pertunjukan kalian via live streaming. Selamat buat Humiliation, pertunjukan kalian keren tadi. Kami juga dari tim Naratas Akar menyaksikan dari live streaming via jarumcoklat.com. Semoga berita terbaik menghampiri teman-teman di sini. Apapun hasilnya, semoga yang terbaik buat Indonesia. Salam dari kami di Helsinki. Selamat buat Humiliation, keren banget tadi pertunjukannya. Kami dari tim Naratas Akar di sini sangat menikmati pertunjukan kalian. Buat teman-teman yang lain, semoga lancar, semoga nggak ada halangan. Berita terbaik buat teman-teman di sana semuanya. Salam dari kami di Helsinki. Kami dari tim Naratas Akar sangat menikmati perjuangan kalian via streaming di jarum.coklat.com. Simulation keren banget tadi hari ini. Kami dari tim Naratas Akar di sini menikmati pertunjukan kalian di live streaming dcdc.com. Semoga tadi udah beres mainnya. Kami dari tim Naratas Akar di sini sangat menikmati pertunjukan di live streaming. Semoga buat teman-teman yang lainnya juga lancar, sukses, dan berita terbaik menghampiri teman-teman semua di sana. Greetings from Helsinki, Selamat buat Simulation. Kami sangat menikmati pertunjukan kalian via live streaming di jarumcoklat.com. Semoga teman-teman yang lainnya juga lancar dan berita terbaik untuk kalian. Salam dari kami dari Helsinki. Hell yeah.